after we finish these two, next class, next Tuesday, will be totally reserved for grammar revision. Okay, and then grammar may. Okay. Grammar may active and passive we have done, right? Sentence transformation.
Yes.
Adverbs. Characters. That is conjunction. Adverbs we have done.
Yes.
Characters not done. Descriptive paragraph I remember. Determiner I remember. Tense we have done. All this subjectively editing omission we have done. So इसका ये दिया है या नहीं, you just check at home. Worksheets. Modals we have done. Clause we have to do. Phrase and clause. The difference between phrase and clause दोनों अलग है. Clause में क्या है? It's a full sentence with a subject and a predicate. Phrase is not a full sentence. It does not have a subject and a predicate. I walk. No, I walk with a subject clause है. ये है. It's a full sentence. Phrase में I went. There is no object. So something. So it's incomplete sentence. It's a phrase. It will this will be. And all these type of grammar, I'm waiting for Anand to come.
He is not coming today.
He not come. Why?
He said that I have not completed with what I will get. For this diary between story later.
Okay, so yeah, I'll check that first. You have done?
And also we had told us to do extra bit, but I was not able to do all this.
So why don't you do it on a piece of paper and submit so that I can do it and give it to you the next Tuesday. Next, ask, okay? Next class afterwards. We have a piece of paper. Okay? Full square. Do you know full square paper?
Full square paper is their own papers.
So what's the spelling for you?
Full and then scale, like SCAP.
Okay. So this is one very important thing, GK, that you should know. It's it is called full scan because when we roll it like this. We roll it like this, right? So it was just like a cap. The olden days, if you see Julius Caesar or any other, there was a cap like that. Abhi bhi aap dekhoge chefs and all they were capped like this, sir. So this is the shape of a cap when it's rolled. So it's called fool's cap. It looks like a fool. The person wearing this used to look like a fool, or maybe there was a tradition that a person who is called a fool will wear a cap like this, something like that. But it is because it takes the shape of a cap. That's why it is called fool's cap. The real spelling is अभी कभी भी किसी भी जाओगे ना पूछेगा तो you will give the right answer. It's the fool's cap. In old age, in the London, they used to call it a person maybe wearing a cap like this were called fool, something like that. That is not known, but this is the. So do you think you learned this? So what was the because he's not coming, I'm not teach something new text. You along with your friend went for river rafting in Rishikesh. Write a diary entry in about 100 to 130 words just mapping about text. So you follow the This you should write here or here. First will come this, huh? Date, where will date come? This and then comma, date and then time, right? First will come the day of the week. So don't forget the format, huh? So do we have to do anything here? No. Okay. It's done. Everything is on. So, dear diary, where is Monday? You just put out without either for 1 day, comma, and then 9:20 p.m. we check. So, not like this. 1 day, comma, date, this one, and then
So this whole thing will be Monday.
yes. If what first will come the day of the week, 1 day, comma, and then 2025 description and then. Yeah. You keep this handy. See where is the mistake from our part and share this here. So no. Share. Okay, share.
Yes.
So day and date. One line. Day and date. So your day is Monday. Date is your given. Child and dear diary. This is the format. Have you followed this format now? Before it was wrong. Now it's right. I guess so. Monday, yes. Comma. And the full date like this and then full stop. Or nothing. Don't have to use it. Dear diary, today I woke up earlier than usual because I had planned a trip with my friend for the first time in 5 years. I was very excited. I barely got any sleep because my body was filled with excitement. When me and my friend and I, my friend and I, you have to always give, you have to always give more importance someone who is with you. You are not yourself. So my friend and I. Shubham went in lower kindergarten. With my friend I, Shubham went in lower kindergarten. We used to talk about so we used to talk about going away from the oh, that's how you started. Is it broken? No. Okay, we used to talk about going away from the going similar percentage as a nature and certificate. So after 9 long years, we decided to Plan a trip with my friend for the first time in 5 years. I know this is 9 years.
From your kindergarten to now.
9 long years, we decided to plan a trip in the laps of Mother Nature. Since we are still ninth graders, we don't have so much budget. So we decided Rishikesh was perfect. After flying from Mumbai Sochi. Points to remember. Left align there. And then no box. Box is not needed. Body can be of 1, 2, 3 paragraphs. Students are advised to stick to the word limit, 100 to 120 words. If the question mentions a city, make sure to write the name of that place after time. So you are writing from Rishikesh? Where is that?
Writing from which
So you have to mention that. Yes, Rishikesh. Rishikesh. Right on. So you too. I look earlier generation because I had planned a trip with my friend for the first time 5 years. I was very excited. We speak because the body was here. No, this is planning के बाद ही लिखा ना. You have not been there. Read first. What is the question? You have to read right from Rishikesh. What's your
since I have date this step and next day that is
how to hear? Today I woke up earlier than usual because I had planned. We are in Rishikesh now. We have planned a trip with my friends for the first time 5 years. I was very excited. I really couldn't sleep because my mom was filled with excitement when my friend and I showed up in North 11. Okay. So after 9 long years, we decided to plan a trip into the laps of model since we are still okay. After flying from Mumbai, you were talking about what happened before and now you are writing about your diary and when it came, you have planned and you have executed the plan. So you're writing for Rishikesh then. So write Rishikesh afterwards. After flying from Mumbai, so this name should be capital. To Rishikesh, we took a bus and reached the resort, which was going to be your house for the next 7 days since we arrived late. This different culture. And next day, arrive करने के बाद you are writing, right? After you arrive, you are writing, right? This was going to say. That is today we mentioned here. We went to receive the blessing from Mother Ganga. G will be grammatical error के लिए there is marks will be deducted. Remember. ये जो है ना marking scheme if it's there I'll show you. देखो marking scheme. Date, time, salutation, content 3 marks, signature half mark. So in this content 3 marks, it is about content and grammatical error. They received that is today we went to receive. And when we saw people, we're going to die in, but then we saw people, they were rafting. We decided that river rafting would be more fun and made the person completed a raft part. We paid all the concerning money. Some people go back to arrive and say this one, we said the one is a brownie. Very good. Regardless, we both had lots and lots of fun and looking forward to the next day in Rishikesh. And then नीचे क्या यहाँ spectrum कुछ लिखना है ना? Signature.
so it's for year.
It's child your name. Write a short story on the basis of the given clues. Okay. So you along with your friend wait for river rafting in Rishikesh at a diary about and the coordinate towards describing about your experience. See. This one out of how much marks? 3, 4, 5. 5 may you will get maximum. You 5 and 10. Because this is more about the plant than the river. Your focus should be on the river. Your focus, only one paragraph is about river acting. Otherwise, it's the plant. This is not necessary so much. So you focus more on it. Okay. So you will get 3 of the 5 because this should be more. Write a short story on the basis of the given clues inhabited Robert Bruce on Timor. Scott Pan often fought for the freedom of the country. No success. I didn't know how was it about the Spider. Scott Pan prepared this. Nature is this is a short story. It is the best. Nature is the best teacher. Use challenge for the most powerful government to learn of England.
No, this is the introduction of English. That was
The often wants eat one in search for freedom. Now, lesson one. The beginning, name, place, it should be.
capital.
But if you with getting freedom, so it's the fifth capital. So in literature, fifth, you have to write heads in words, not in numbers. He himself rose up from the throne, sat on his guard, fought out horse, and went to attack England. Once again, he took about 2080 only. These are very terrible. You know the story.
This is 16.
Often fought for the freedom of the country, no success, citing in a field. That's okay based on this. But a paragraph maybe have to write about not learning what you learn, perseverance and stick to it. So you learn on the story, what is your was that Anubhav program, what you experience from this? Otherwise, this will be writing. Even if it 4 out of 5, why not stand up? But if you add that, you will get focus. So, Abhita, your what you learn from bullet Abhita. That's why this is. Otherwise, it's good. You have with more practice, you will improve a lot. When you are writing anything, paragraph, photo, your story, your diary, focus on what is given in the exam, what is given in the question. So that should be more rather than upar niche less. Okay? Introduction less because you have limited word limit. Word limit, the word limit is limited. Word limit is 100 to 150 or something. So you have to take into account. If we have it, see, देखो, assume yourself to be the happy prince and write a diary entry of the day when his statue was raised and he saw the history of the poor people of his city in about 100 to 100 years. So, focus क्या है? The day when his statue was raised. So, उसके पहले what he was in a comfortable zone and all that is not so important. Your answer will start from the day his statue was fixed. What he was before the happy twins, never knew what sorrow it is. He was well taken care of, he was a prince. This was generally. So your answer will start from here. The day when his statue was raised and he saw the misery of the people. Misery of the people, then from the day the statue was raised. Sunday, the 30th of New York City, dear diary. So I tell you, I suggest you always, Mumbai se bhi likhoge to write the name of the place. It's very easy. First is the day of the week, then the date, then the time, and then the place. So diary may actually we should write. Okay. Then dear diary, today my statue was raised. See, कहाँ से शुरू किया देखो? Statue raised किया, वहां से शुरू किया. So that should be your focus part. हाँ, उसके ऊपर ही marks मिलेगा आपको. It is located high, and then where it is located, high above the city. It was full of gold, ruby, and diamonds, like the way I lived my life, but I'm terribly depressed because the people in my country are suffering. So direct third line में आ गया what is. First line, two lines में statue was raised, and statue कैसा था, and then started directly suffering of the people he came. He started. I was feeling quite sad when a kind sparrow suddenly appeared. It took my rupees and sapphires and gold to help the needy. And at that moment, I felt much better. After giving away my gold and jewels, the authorities thought I looked shabby. So they pulled down my statue. This is instance only about the words, the paragraph I told you to write. After King of Scotland, what he did, then you have to mention in the last paragraph what is your thinking. What you learn from it. So more than writing, previously what happened, you should start from the topic asked and then you can write after that what happened. After that what happened to him. Just help present people specifically, I hope all the people later happy life. See, so started from my work. This is not a very good writing. This is not a very good writing, but I wanted to tell you, you write much better than what is written over here, but have written a start. That is not good. You will start from the place river rafting. And then exhaustion, and we went for room, we had a lunch, quick lunch, and we went to sleep. And then we have planned that because today we could not do it successfully, tomorrow maybe we will try once again. Because though we could not do it successfully, but it was very exciting, and we have to take more preparation and we can try next time, one more time. So ऐसा करके भी आप बोल सकते हो. You lie in your bed chamber, listen to the pitter patter of the rain, maybe many memories of your childhood. I remember. Now, rain on the roof.
Yes, rain on the roof.
Write a diary. We learned that, right? Rain on the roof. So write a diary entry about 100 to 150 words about the most important experience that you can recollect. So memories, many memories may the most important.
The same question came in the previous.
I don't know. Many questions are from here, from your book. So the sound of raindrops patting against my roof last night. From where the poet started, did not start from he was sad, depressed, or suddenly starting to rain. Directly from where the raindrops patting against my roof last night brought up a lot of pleasant memories. Start directly memories. I thought I could feel the sound of the water on the roof on my face as I was lying in my warm and comfortable bed, and then I recall jumping in the muddy puddles with my neighborhood friends and singing songs with them. It was fun. I remember coming home to the sweet aroma of coconuts and enjoying the delicacies with their loved one, those by the least child. So, what I wanted to say is, if you start from that and then talk about the result. It's not it. Story writing with a title, introduction, body, conflict, climax, resolution.
This one was given to this document.
Yeah. So, for you, it's very easy to get good marks because you write well. Only thing is, ज़्यादा मत लिखो. Just to the point. The beginning is so big, but the teacher will use interest to go to the main part. So you make it interesting in the beginning. Reward.
Choose a title.
Any title. Choose the case or any title. Again, the Peter Packer, the rain on the room, did not follow Robert Frost. And write your own. What in the room, and you are listening to it, what memory comes to your mind. So just direct jump to the memory, and then those were days when those were the fun days, and I really I cannot be so happy as I was happy during those days because my mother was near me. I am in a hostel or far away place. I'm doing my work place. I remember my mother and Sripapuras or Dadis, everything for night. And see, this can be different. Mysterious cabin जो भी है. So directly अपना the one thing is you just expand too much. Just like the or this is not I didn't give printout of this. So I'll give a printout of this, or you go through the I'll give a printout, you read and see how they have written. See, ये तो इधर ही है. Our excitement knew no bounds when we started for an adventurous fishing story. So you have math for 9 years, 5 years, वो सब जरूरी नहीं. Just start from because शुरू ऐसे किया. Okay, just the way we started for the adventure. We started at 5 a.m. and had our breakfast on the way. We reached there at around 11 a.m. and a camp organizer welcomed us and informed us about the do's and don'ts in the camp area. One more very important thing, you are ninth grader. You cannot go to Rishikesh alone with them. This is a very important point. Your parents will not allow you. Right? So either with parents or with a camp, with a group that you have to manage. ज़्यादा fiction की जरूरत है. So much of elaboration 9 years के बाद मिले 5 years साल के बाद going on flow. Just to the point. Welcomed us and informed us about the do's and don'ts in the camp area. After walking downhill, we reached a campsite where the manager told us that camps are ready for us and that it should be our home for next 2 days. After keeping our bags, we decided to go for kayaking. Our instructor gave us tips on kayaking, but we were not able to maintain a balance or were too slow in rowing the kayak. We also tried swimming, but there was too many rocks, so we decided to give it up. Later in the evening, we played volleyball on the beach and had tea and later. So it is about experience. River rafting. So river rafting and it should. Your second part is the first part is second part what you wrote only right. Okay.
The Robert Bruce manual is also there in this.
Yeah, I remember I gave from you wrote it down from here.
That
I told you to write it down from here. Robert Bruce, the King of Scotland, was both brave and wise. Battle after battle, he fought with England. He often led his army to fight for the freedom of his country. He never gained success. At last, his army was driven out and was forced to hide in the woods. They took shelter in a cave. Robert was tired and sick of heart, ready to give up hope. You have not mentioned that. Mention that. He was ready to give up hope. And then what inspired him? No, you don't. You did.
I have written what inspired him. He
was in despair and he was ready to give up. As he lay thinking, he noticed a spider and then this your mention.
I have written that he was depressed to see about it and seeing it figured in cost of
See that. This is okay. Audio route, I told you the last one, there are some grammatical errors, therefore is made. Robert Bruce, England. This is very important to write in capital letter name is the common nouns. So this is I'll stop sharing now. Stop sharing currently and do so writing, you write well. अच्छा लिखते हो full marks मिलने के लिए don't be so elaborate, just write the CBSE का वही है. All these papers through which I am teaching, they are all taken from main. But क्या है? You know how to cook. What is the difference? You know how to cook biryani. But while cooking, you have to gather on the ingredient, right? But here what it is, you don't have to gather anything, you don't have to go to the shop, I think the biryani is already served. Right? So these are all, even school teachers, they all take, but there are some big way. Of course, we create some questions, but this is the biryani that is served to you. Just come and order and you get. Keep up with the research. These are all researched, and some of the answers are too old. I mean, they are not according to the current format, CBSE format. So those things are changed. What I said, no men are for let's do this. You need to give out the work. You have a good design. Take my book. Take my book. Okay. Or maybe the which one instead? Okay, not for this. Okay. Okay. It's to be like it's to cut from the bus. What's then? Kathmandu is, a place, Nepal, Kathmandu. So the writer becomes it came from China to India, hitchhiking via Tibet. Hitchhiking is stop and awaken. And Nepal, Tibet. What is the mistake over here? There is a mistake over here. What is it? It should be that. And wrote about it in his book titled Heavenly. In this excerpt from the book, we get to know about his visit to Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal. What is the key? An extract from this book, Heavenly, is the city of Kathmandu and the author's personal experiences and observation during his visit. The passage describes the sights, sounds, and atmosphere of the city. So these, right afterwards, these three are the keywords: sights, sounds, and the atmosphere of the city, as well as the author's reflections on the people and culture. The author also refers to the idea of travel and the ways in which it can change from first to the following. So traveling is a he talks about traveling, how you how it changes your mindset, what you see, what you feel. Short story summary of Kathmandu kya hai? This story tells us about the author's visit to the capital of Nepal, Kathmandu. We see that he was coming from China to visit India via hitchhiking. In this hitchhiking, he crosses Tibet and Nepal. Thus, this story, share my manner. This story gives us an account of his experience in Kathmandu. The travelogue gives an insight. Travelogue is a book that talks about travel. Gives us insight on his trip to the city and what he feels about it. On his trip to Kathmandu, Vikram visits the two most popular temples of the city. One is Pashupatinath temple and the other is Bodhnath temple, both in Kathmandu. He notices the difference between the two temples and the atmosphere surrounding them. So it is actually a description of Pashupatinath temple and Bodhnath temple, Stupa. We go to visit, we go to see these temples, but actually, if we are so much in love God, we should not keep the temple that remains we grow flowers and we keep it dirty. So it's not religion that actually matters to us. That is what he wants to say. One is the Pashupatinath temple, the other is Bodhnath Stupa. He notices the difference between the two temples and that was the ceremony. Thus, through Kathmandu summary, we travel to the city without actually going there through Vikram's magical words. His words are magical and it's imaging, it's an imaging, right imaging, strong imaging that actually gets us around Pashupatinath or around Kathmandu. It's magical words. The writer Vikram describes his visit to Kathmandu, capital of Nepal. We know he visited two temples. We know pilgrimage for the Hindus and the other was the Bodhnath temple, which is a holy place for the Buddhists. One is for the Hindus, one is for the Buddhists. At the Pashupatinath temple, entry was restricted. The same thing in the same thing in Orissa, the Jagannath temple. Hindus are allowed, only Hindus are allowed. There was a lot of chaos with priests, tourists, pilgrims, and animals flocking in the place. That shows that it was, though it is called a holy place, but not kept like a that, not treated like a holy place. Because then there will be peace, there will be tranquility, there will be behave properly, but everybody is there to earn money. And that does not go, if you are have respect for any religion and you want your knowledge. You will not be greedy, right? Priests, tourists, pilgrims, and animals flocking the place. The holy river Bhagwati, so which river flows in the Pashupatinath temple, near Pashupatinath temple, it is the Bhagwati river. It's flows near the temple was being polluted by the washerwomen. So people are so where is the bhakti? The bhakti that we're talking about, where is it? Washerwomen, they are washing their clothes in it, children who are bathing in it, and residents who are throwing dry withered flowers in it. Do you think this is bhakti? What do you say bhakti in English? Find out the word. It is coming in the stomach but not coming in the mind. Okay, bhakti. The holy river Bhagwati, which flows near the temple, was being polluted. Okay, how it is polluted, that is also a question that you have to write the answer. They are polluted by Russian women, women washing clothes, children bathing in it, and throwing dried rivers on the dried flowers on the river, dried withered flowers in it, children bathing, and the women washing clothes. So these are the women washing clothes and women washing clothes, दोनों में difference क्या है? Sorry. Women washing clothes and women washing clothes. What's the difference between women and women?
Women are the people who earn money.
Yes, business. Washing clothes for that's a businessman. Like they are doing it for money. And the women is individual. Okay. So here you have to mention this. You have to be very, very careful about the keywords, washer women, not only women. Okay. Small shrines protruded onto the stone platform, and it was said that when the platform would emerge completely, then the goddess would emerge out of it and end the Kali. This is the same. How? What is the same that says that Kali will end? So there is a then you have to mention this that small shrines protruded onto the stone platform near the Bhagwati river or on the river. Yeah, and it was said that when the platform would emerge completely, God will emerge. Then the goddess would emerge out of it and end the Kali. God will emerge and it will escape from the shrines and it will end the current.
Who is the vertex?
Let's see, quickly. The scene at the Bodhnath temple was opposite to that at the Pashupanath temple. So there is a comparison. Bodhnath and Pashupanath, how they were different. It was a huge white colored room, Bodhnath temple, dome, surrounded by an outer wall. The place was quiet and calm. So the difference is it is empty, too much of people, too much of sound, too much of dirt, but this is quiet and calm. It's because this is Bodhnath temples are places for meditation. There was a Tibetan market outside the temple where Tibetan refugees were selling bags, garments, and jewelry. Kathmandu has a variety of things to offer. It has religious sanctity. It is a business hub and a tourist destination. There are shops selling. So how do you say it's a business hub, tourist destination? Shops selling postcards, antiques, chocolates, imported cosmetics, camera film rolls and addresses. These are the things they're selling in Kathmandu market. A variety of sounds could be heard in the streets. The music blaring out of the radios. So the music that you can hear, all you have to write. Music blaring out of the radios, honking of the car horns, ringing of the bicycle bells, new sounds of the cows as they obstructed the motorcycle passing by and the screaming vendors selling their wares. So what are the sounds? Variety of sounds. The music blaring out of the radios and then motorcycle passing by, screaming vendors selling their wares, and then sound of the mooing of the cows and screaming vendors, pipe sounds. Vendors selling them. So when you are screaming vendors, so if you end here, it does not. The ending is not proper. So why they are shouting? Unnecessary does not match with this. You have to mention selling their wares. So any keyword that you are using, you have to mention why you are using. Okay. Vikram ate a marzipan bar, a corn on the cob roasted on charcoal fire and garnished with lemon juice, salt and chili powder, and drank Coca-Cola to digest. He bought some love story comics and Reader's Digest from the market. What is marzipan bar? I don't.
It's a corn on the roasted and charcoal fire.
A corn on the rock, cob roasted on charcoal fire. It's so yeah. So these are the keywords related. Mercenary. What's the meaning of mercenary? Greedy. Someone who thinks about business. Somebody who thinks only about business. Does not think about the sanctity of the place. It's a temple place, but they are not so much interested in that. I did so much of hard work, I cannot find things. Kathmandu is vivid, mercenary. Mercenary is interested only in the amount of money that you get from us. The person who is selling things, they are selling it. They are not thinking about the purity of the things. They are greedy, businessman.
So mercenary is an adjective.
Yes. So religious with small shrines to flower along the deities along the narrowest and busiest streets with fruit sellers, offers of postcards, shops selling Western cosmetic, film rolls and chocolate, or papa dresses and memories and things. This is all you have to write. Film songs, clear out from the radios, the sounds car horns sound, bicycle bells scream, stray cows low questioningly at motorcycles, not low. This is low. This is wrong. Cows
Yeah, we still have
low.
is scenery can actually also be selfish.
Uh, Cows low questionably as they obstruct the motorcycles passing by, screaming vendors selling wares. So these question is very important. At motorcycles, vendors shout out their wares. I indulge myself mindlessly. I'm not thinking about anything just because it's too much background to see all this confusion. Buy a bar of marzipan, like a sweet made with grated almond. This is marzipan. A sweet made with grated almond. Buy a bar of marzipan like a energy bar. A corn on the cob roasted in a charcoal brazier. Brazier is open stove. A corn on the cob roasted in a charcoal brazier is the food. On the pavement, rubbed with salt, chili powder, and lemon, and couple of large chili comics he bought, and this is what he was doing. Okay. Now, what happened? He was doing all this, and these are the sounds, and bought some comics and Reader's Digest. On his way back to Delhi from Kathmandu, he is going back. He has done Reader's visit, where you can see the contrast Pashupatinath temple, Pashupatinath temple, and Bodhanath temple. It's a difference. Chaotic Pashupatinath temple and what was the Bodhanath temple was calm and quiet. So now he's coming back to Delhi. He considered going by an adventure. On his way back to Delhi, he considered going by an adventurous route. It would be a bus or train journey till Patna, then a boat ride up the Ganga River till Allahabad. So he did not take a flight. He just took a derouting, adventurous route. Ganga River till Allahabad. It would be followed by a boat journey on the Yamuna River to Delhi. As he was tired, he chucked the idea and took a direct flight from Kathmandu to New Delhi the next day. So, on his way back to Delhi, he considered he will do like this, but because he was so tired, he did not go for the adventure, and instead he took a direct flight from Kathmandu to New Delhi. So, how he planned to come back to Delhi, which he did not do. Then you have to mention this. Okay. Consider going by the adventurous route. It would be a bus or train journey till Patna, then a boat ride up to the Ganga River till Allahabad. It will be followed by a boat journey on the Yamuna River to Delhi. This he planned. But why he did not execute? Because he was too tired. Then what he did? He flew from Patna to New Delhi the next day. Outside his hotel, he saw a fruit seller. Outside his hotel, where? No, he did not reach. But one. Outside his hotel, he saw a fruit seller. He held a pole out of which many fruits popped out like the thorns on a porcupine's body. You have seen that, na? Pole the man stood quietly and would take out a different fruit played for a couple of minutes and replace it with another one. Once in a while, he would sell one of them mindlessly. He played the flute meditatively. He was unlike other hoppers who screamed to sell their wares. He was different. The writer got attracted to the music of the flute. Flutes are played in many regions of the world and they vary in appearance, names, and the music that they produce. The sound of a flute resembles human voice as it is played by exhaling the breath.
Breath.
Breath. It's wrong. And its music also pauses when person inhales or breath. There are mistakes, We have to cook the biryani very carefully. Okay. Obviously, last line, last paragraph. Then I can be this one. I find it difficult to tear myself away from the square. Flute music always so. Why he found flute music so mesmerizing, so good. I found it difficult to tear myself away from the square. Flute music always does this to me, so he's very much interested in. Cannot move himself away from the from flute music because it captivates him. It is at once the most universal, how he describes flute, universal and most particular of sounds. There is no culture that does not have its flute, he says. The reed, neck, the recorder, the Japanese. So these are all types of flutes. The reed, neck, the recorder, the Japanese, Sakuhachi, the deep bansuri of art, Hindustani classical music, the theodore, breathing, flutes of South America, the high-pitched Chinese flutes. These are all different types of flutes that he mentions. You have to learn this. Each has its specific fingering and compass. It leaves its own association. Yet to hear any flute it seems to me to be drawn into the commonality of all mankind to be book by music, closes with its phrases and sentences to the human words. Its motive force to his native head. It too needs to pause and breathe before it can work. So he finds all evident, whether it's Chinese food, whether it's Japanese approach, everything he finds what's the commonality, it's the same breathing in and out. So there is a touch of human here. This is what he discussed. You read for a 5 minutes break. It's during your pregnancy because you don't have family. You have to go home early. It's fine. So I'll explain more. Uske pehle, let's see here. I got a cheap room in the center of town and sleep for hours. The next morning, with Mr. Shah's son and nephew, I visit the two temples at Kathmandu that are most sacred of Hindus and Buddhists. What are these two temples? What are these two temples?
Which was, I think, Pashupati.
I think Bodhanath.
Yes,
We have to watch this.
big ball.
Bodhanath temple. And what was the name of? Bhagavati. Bhagavati, Bodhanath temple. Bodhanath temple. Bodhanath temple. Vikram took a cheap, affordable hotel on rent, and as he was tired from the journey, he slept for a few hours. The next morning, he visited two temples in Kathmandu along with Mr. Shah's son and nephew. One of the temples was a pilgrimage for Hindus, and the other one was a. समझ रहे हैं?
The people go in style. So Do they keep passports when they travel from country to?
They, yes, of course, they passport is needed for everybody. But Nepal we don't need a passport. Nepal we don't need a visa. China, he has it. He roams about around a lot. So Pashupatinath temple, there is an atmosphere of febrile confusion. Priests, hawkers, devotees, tourists, cows, monkeys, pigeons, and dogs roam through the towns. It's all. Febrile confusion, hurried activity. Everybody is busy. So, and what is written address for the Hindus only. There is an atmosphere of febrile confusion. So, what is this febrile confusion? Share करना है क्या? हाँ, wait, it's share. What is this febrile confusion? You have to write this. All priests, hawkers, devotees, tourists, cows, monkeys, pigeons, and dogs roam to the ground. Okay? This is the confusion. Everybody is roaming here and there. We offer a few flowers. There are so many worshippers that some people trying to get the priest attention and removed aside by others pushing their way to the presence of President. A princess of the Nepalese royal house appears. Everyone bows and begs stay. By a princess of the Nepalese royal house appears. There is a princess there. Still, we have it. They have the royal house, and a princess appears. Everyone bows and makes way, taking respect. Show respect to the princess. When a maiden did a party of saffron-clad westerners struggle for permission to enter. Why they struggle?
Because it's not wrong.
No. What is written? The temple. Only Hindus are allowed. So they are struggling because they are not. A party of saffron-clad Westerners. Westerners are mainly Christians. That's why they are struggling because they want to see. Struggle for permission to enter. The policeman is not convinced that they are the Hindus. Only Hindus are allowed to enter. A fight breaks out between two monkeys. One chases the other, who jumps into a Shivlinga, then runs screaming around the temples and down to the river, the holy Bhagavati that flows below. So these are all the febrile confusion he's talking about. Okay? Everybody's confused. फाइट चल रहा है वेस्ट का सांसद को जाने की कोशिश कर रहा है मानसी भाग रहा है ये कर रहा है वो कर रहा है so this is the confusion. A corpse is being cremated on its bank. Washerwomen are at their work and children taking bath. From a balcony, a basket of flowers and leaves, old offerings, now wilted, withered, dry, is dropped into the river. A small shrine half protrudes from the stone platform on the river bank. A small shrine, small mandir jaisa. When it emerges fully, the goddess inside will escape and the evil period of the Kali will end on earth. So it said that the goddess who is kept in the shrine, maybe it's locked in the shrine, when it emerges fully in the river, Bhagavati river, it's a same. The goddess in the shrine, kept in the shrine, locked in the shrine to escape. And Kali is the era of the sin, it will end. And then Satya will take up.
There's something about this, something like it was about that when the water level will go down, this stone will fully extinct. Yes, so that will automatically end because the water level is going down.
That is scientific reason only. Scientific reason for only fire or ice. Whether it will become too hot or too cold. So what? I don't know. Three. जो होने वाला था अभी. Everybody was talking about all the countries. All the countries are fighting against Korea, China, all are, they are waiting to start the war. Then at the both now the contrast at the both the Buddhist shrine of Katma. There is in contrast a sense of stillness. So if you are asked to compare and contrast between Bodhanath Stupa and Pashupatinath temple, you have to say sense of stillness. Its immense wide dome is ringed by a road. Small shops stand on its outer edge. Many of these are owned by Tibetan immigrants, spread bags, Tibetan prints and silver jewelry can be bought here. There are no crowds, no confusion. This is a heaven of quietness in the busy streets. Streets are busy, but there is a quietness.
There is
And
what is the best way? This.
both there.
That's what.
How do you have to? That is the pagoda you are talking about, right? That's a Vipassana center.
Acts something center person. It's a big game.
इधर भी तो है ना pagoda जो है पासी के ऊपर. That is also Vipassana center, and you cannot make sense. So the difference is, first difference is this is for the Buddhas, that is for the Hindus, and the second is the right confusion over there and no safe whiteness. Though there is marketplace and everything is here. This we have mentioned. Let's go to the questioners. Moral of Kathmandu, moral whiteness. To sum up Kathmandu summary, we learn that we must all try to maintain the purity and serenity of the holy places and practice thoughtful actions. This is what actually he wants us to practice. We have to learn. This is what he wants. Ruskin only है ना? Becomes it. Becomes it tells us that we, in the name of religion, we cannot. It's not in the name of religion or religion. We should maintain the serenity, the sanctity, the purity of the holy places. It should not be just for the sake of visiting some place. Okay, up there. Compare and contrast the atmosphere and I will the Bodhanath shrine in the Pashupatinath. Very important. It's a keyword there. At Pashupatinath, there is an atmosphere of great confusion, keyword. And then when you are talking about, when you are writing this keyword, you have to mention why you are using this. Okay, so if you write only febrile confusion, that's not sufficient. Why you are writing this? Priests, hawkers, devotees. What is this?
This is being on YouTube.
Priests, hawkers, devotees, tourists, cows, monkeys, pigeons, dogs, roam through the ground. All you have to write to get full marks. There are so many worshippers that some people try to get the priest's attention and are then put aside by others pushing their way to the front. So everybody is pushing each other to get the priest's attention inside the Pashupatinath temple. At the Bodhanath Stupa, the Buddhist shrine of Kathmandu, there is a still sense of stillness. Its immense wide dome is ringed by a road. Small shops stand on its outer edge. Most of the shops are owned by Tibetan immigrants. They are all Buddhas. They are all Buddhists. There are no crowds, and this is a heaven of quietness in the busy streets. Now you understood how you have to write the compare and contrast.
This is paragraph.
Yes, paragraph, anything. First paragraph will be our second one, Bodhanath. So first point is about, first one is for the Hindu, second one is for the, and then how it looks and how it looks. How does the author describe Kathmandu's busiest streets? The author says the Kathmandu is vivid, mercenary, religious, with small shrines of flower adorned beaches along the narrowest and busiest streets. All places there are small shrines. There are fruit sellers, flute sellers, hawkers of postcards, shops selling Western cosmetics, film rolls, and chocolate or copper utensils and Chinese. It's all integrated in the book. Film songs there. How does the author describe Kathmandu's his busiest streets? Yes, of Vinaya and then with that plus sound. Film songs blare out from the radios and when the filming of the car horns, bicycle bells, stray cows blowing down and obstructing the way of the of whom of the vehicles, you can say. They are obstructing the roads. Vendors shout out their wares. The author buys a form on the form posted. So, how does the author describe Kathmandu's busy streets? This you did not add. This is extra. This much is it. Only this much is it. What is this? To hear any flute is to be drawn into the commonality of this very part. He wrote about the commonality of the countries, Japan, and then what are the countries he wrote about?
South America,
China, about the flute,
yeah.
India, Basuri. It's universal. It has no culture. The record of the Japanese, the Hindustani, the flutes of South America, high-pitched Chinese flutes, all the same. Why? To hear any flute is to be drawn into the commonality of all mankind. Why does the author say this? Answer. The author says this because he's aware of the fact that music appeals to senses. This is a very important word. It gives pleasure to every listener. Why say so? Because be it South American flute or Japanese or Chinese, anything, or Hindustani, it gives the same happiness, same pleasure to humans, to us, to our ear. The fruit seller does not sell only one kind of fruit. He has various types of fruits that represent different customs and culture. The fruit seller is a wise salesperson. He does not shout out his wares. To hear any fruit to be drawn into the commonality of one matter, here we have to talk about, he's talking about the fruit seller. He is selling different kinds of fruits, playing different music, but appealing to the poet. He does not shout out his wares. He plays melodious where everybody shouts, lay, but he's not doing that. He's simply standing in a corner with all his fruits and playing different music with different types of fruit. He plays melodious tunes which fascinate others. Mankind does not have multiple appearances and shapes. It is universal and cosmopolitan. Music soothes everyone's heart irrespective of their caste, color, and creed, any country. So the author says that to hear any flute is to be drawn into the commonality of all mankind. Understood? You can mention Vasudev and that was given. These are all from your group. You don't have your book, so it's no use doing it now. When you bring your book, print it. These are from the chapters of your book. See directly. Imagine that you were when Vikram said on his visit to Pashupatinath temple and you were noting down all that you saw and did there, so that you can write a travelogue later. Travelogue, वो जो बोलते हैं ना, what is a travelogue? You know, travel magazine. Only writing about travel. Recording point form. What you see when you reach the Pashupatinath temple. Confusion. What you see happening inside the temple, everybody pushing each other with their elbow to reach to the crest. What you see inside the temple, happening inside the temple, what you see inside the temple, small shrines everywhere. What you see outside the temple, people throwing washroom, Bhagavati river, etc., etc. What your impression are about the base model of the story? We should visit religious place with purity, keep the place in quiet place. So here, what's the mistake done over here in the answer? First you have to write.
Yeah.
Unpaid
Yes.
place.
It's the return.
What to the place? Yes. Now, dear diary, today I feel pleasure to note down my experience with a visit to Pashupatinath temple in Kathmandu. With Vikram said. The visit was indeed, see, from where he started. Imagine that you were with Vikram Seth on his visit to Pashupatinath temple and you were noting down all that you saw and did there so that you could write a tablet. So it's write a tablet. So looking at it. Today I feel pleasure to note down my experience with the visit to Pashupatinath temple in Kathmandu direct contact with Vikram Seth. The visit was indeed exciting for me, though there was too much tumult at Pashupatinath temple. You can write confusion. I saw crowds of priests. This is all from the book. The points: priests, talkers, devotees to visit the temple. Yes. We offered a few flowers to the god. This is also mentioned. Offered a few flowers to the god. And then inside the temple, saw a large number of people pushing each other with their elbow, trying to get the priest's attention. Mera puja le lo, mera thali le lo, do it, do that. So attention, and some of them were elbowing each other, pushing their way to reach to the front. Outside the temple, what we saw, a party of saffron-clad Westerners struggling for permission to enter the temple. The policemen did not allow them to enter the temple because they were not Hindus. There is no doubt that the place is what visiting people aesthetic satisfaction by visiting such religious. See the point here. So these diary entries we will do later. So this is what I have for you today. Now you need and you see the family. You want to write down the keywords or next week? It's better if you have your book. Next onwards, bring your book. Huh?
What's the reason you just thought that I didn't get friends?
मोबाइल्स में क्या है चलो चार जी हाँ Read both the books. We have a bonus. दोनों ही लेके आओ ठीक है But no, and men are political. Is it here? The next one was three more others. Just do a regular thing, but next class. Will you guys start? जो भी गवर्नमेंट ने दिया है ना, we want to represent and doctor the fastest. You got? We do this. You 80. ये तो अच्छा है. Are you getting the same type of marks in your OJSP exam? Or getting less?
Yeah, about 9.
Very good. You know what mistake you made here, the marks? Okay, we well one, or still lost one of that. So one should stop trying about their problems and come back stronger like a wildfire. Tension God मतलब क्या emotion क्या?
This is very good.
You know what I say? I'm doing that. 1,300. This is very enough. It has this. So do you see any improvement in your writing skill? Or it's the same that you had before?
Writing skill as in the stories or the answer?
When you got even the gods and those were strong. This is very important. That's why I will present gods for the day. So this is mentioned. Even the gods help those who are strong. So this we have to mention. That's the one of them. You see where you say. So you have to see. So mention gods in my name because this is very important point. This point is very important. And this is very important point. And one photo I've seen. This is done. This one, 17.5. If it's MCQ, I have nothing to say because MCQ is in your hand. In that it was Ishwara, he returned from the kitchen after he was done working, eating the food. After eating the food, where to heat the food, not done cooking. This one, now. Key words are very important. After warming up the dinner. So this is it. Or not, yeah. This one. MCQ to इसके ऊपर मेरा हाथ नहीं है. So this is not a full. ये तो full नहीं बना ना. This is not full marks. So this yeah, big line there. So ठीक है I get it. ये इसका तो मुझे पता है कि So to master in MCQ, what you have to do, you have to read the text. 70. This is road maps. That he knows the choice that he has made will have a significant impact on his future. He knows that there will be consequences. Consequences it was yesterday. CONSCUENCES of his deeds. He says they deed million of his action. Deed million. There's a difference between deed and action. Deed matlab it's more you get the punishment for your deed. It's more negative. He says that he will be telling his future generation about his choice. It's not future generation needed. It's telling the leaders about his choice affected, how effective his no. What answer? Which answer you have to be right. Question बताओ. Oh. What does the speaker mean by I took the one less travel by and that has made all the difference? Short answer. That has not made what does it mean? That decided his future. It's not, you don't have to mention that he is ready or you have to say that see the answer. Means that they chose the unique or unconventional pathing, right? What is this mean by the one less traveled? The one that was not traveled by much, the unconventional pathing life, one that most people don't take. And that his decision significantly shaped, it's not it's affecting here, shaped their journey. Shaped their journey and experiences. It just shaped. The difference could be positive or negative. Positive हो सकता है, negative हो सकता है. That is not mentioned anywhere. But it emphasizes how even small choices can have a lasting impact on life. So you have to just be बहुत अच्छा है the answer. It can be positive. So you know that because it had a negative effect on his life and it changed his picture, course of action. It means that he knows the choice that he has made will have a significant effect on his future. It's okay. He knows that there will be consequences of his deeds. No. Consequences nahi hai. It will. He says that he will be telling his future generation about his choice, affecting his and their life. No. He knows it can be positive or negative. So he says that we have to choose wisely, and he chose the unconventional path, the path that was not chosen by many, and that made a difference in his life, in his career, and it can be negative as well as positive. It's nowhere written than himself. So you have to mention it can be negative, so that decides the course of our action in future. Okay? 4.5, half mark on they 6 months time. What is the dilemma of the poet in the roadmap taken? How does he resolve his dilemma and get what result? Have you been in place of the poet? Would you have chosen the same road as chosen by the poet? If there are the reasons for your choice. What is the dilemma of the poet in the roadmap taken? How does he resolve his dilemma and with what result? Had you been in place of the poet, would you have chosen the same road as chosen by the poet? If not, the basis for the choice. So how many parts are there? 1 part, 2 part, 3, 4 part. So 1.5, 1.5, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1.5 part. As I calculate, if we are giving questions like this or in your board, we have separate marks for separate part. It's not at one of them. We give resident marks on the whole, but it's 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1. approach.
Every patient carries one.
Every question carries every part. That's why it is advisable here. It's not strong. It's advisable to write in paragraphs. Even if you don't write it's okay, but it's advisable for the teacher's benefit. Teacher will tell it's easy for the teacher to correct. Just every part we do. You have done it, no? First part. What is the first part? What is the dilemma of the word roadmap? About the choices that one makes in life. So you are writing what the poem is about. Frost uses the core in the road as a metaphor. Did you? And that's a metaphor. Road not taken away, question A1 in your board exam, where school exam of one. This is the chapter is based on road not taken, so many questions. Here exam function. जरूर metaphor mention करना जैसा भी हो जैसा भी क्वेश्चन हो you have please mention this word it's a metaphor for what choices we make in life. So the roadmap not taken is about the choices that one makes in life. The question based on road not taken should be about the choices starting line and it's a metaphor. Frost uses a for in the road as a metaphor for the choices we make in our lives. It's a metaphor. Frost, it's a for, but it is a metaphor for the choices we make in life. Metaphor is forgetting. Telling something which means something else. So he's telling about the forms are also in the radio, but it's about the metaphor of the choices we make in our life. So he is a mentioned that we have not mentioned. Mentioned here. The poet explores the dilemma of choosing the right road or path because he's unsure of what will come in future. He knows that after choosing once, he won't get a chance to come back and take the other route. He will be left with nothing but hatred. This is right. That dilemma you were talking about. This is a dilemma, but इसके पहले ये mention करना है. It's a metaphor. एक ही question आएगा. Don't not taking any question it comes. You have to mention. Please mention करेंगे. Okay, it will give you marks. And then what the next part? How does he resolve this dilemma and with what result? How does he resolve? It is took the road that was less traveled. And what result? It decided his future and he knows that he have to accept whatever comes in his way because it's his choice. Unconventional route he has taken. That it is of the dilemma by taking the road that was less traveled very good. The poet examines both roads and chooses the one less worn. This is the repetition of the same thing. Repeat nothing. Less travel is great, less worn. It's a repetition. Repeat nothing. It results in him regretting no. He never says regret. He doesn't regret actually. He tells us that you have to do the right choice, take the right choice in your life. And once you have taken it, you should not take it. This is what it teaches us, tells us. He keeps thinking about what different would it have made had he have not taken those less traveled by. Less traveled. No, this is you read from here.
I wanted to there's a proverb, the other side always seems greener. But I just was not able to remember that.
That's okay.
So
But he did not think he said the gist of the poem is he said that make the right choice. Once you have chosen the path, do not do it. So why choosing it? Because suppose you want to study, take commerce, 4 year down the line, you should not say that gosh, my science take engineer no. I have taken commerce. This is the for, this is science, this is commerce, I have chosen commerce and I have to whatever comes, if I want to go CS or CA or anything, I am happy with my life because this is a true, I have chosen the path of my life. It's my wise decision. We should not regret nothing. Same way, we have taken science and we later on in your life आगे कि कितना 7 लाख का ही मैं जॉब कर रही हूँ कैसे ये CS1 तक मैं क्या कर so once you have chosen if you are standing here this is a science path this is a commerce path you choose the path and later do not be happy wherever you reach this is what the book wants what wherever you want you should it can be positive it can be negative but you should not negative cause commerce करने के बाद अगर achieve नहीं हुआ तो do not know कि science लेके भी आपको achieve होगा या नहीं that you don't know ना वो उसमें भी failure हो सकता है so we should be happy in what we are getting ठीक है and there is no end chance मतलब need want there is no end to it अंबानी होने के बाद अंबानी को भी बोल दूंगा अंबानी भी शायद wants to be like Elon Musk or like Bill Gates wants to be the president of USA there is no end to it so yeah you know and then the last part you did not give reasons for your choices 100 to 120 words what do you have written the last part yes, I would have made the same decision because it is hard to overthink and take a decision. Instead of good examination of the choices present and makes a decision a lot is yellow. You have to write that I would have been unconventional like cross choosing the road that was less traveled or in a conventional way I taken the road that was more traveled and whatever comes my way, I would have perhaps the road that was not taken would have proved pretty worthy. But once choice is made, it becomes irrevocable. I will not regret in my life. I choose whether the conventional, unconventional. I will not look back and regret because I know once the road taken, I cannot come back and take the other. It's the final decision. It will be the final decision. Ahead. Which one? Both. Straight Manila. So let's vote in Q. And while writing answers, you have to be careful about the tense. So tense to equal potency. Get to the point. What is the question? That I know, margin. No, lost and margin. The fun they had. Number 5. So 30 and 40 words are so they don't write. You can work it. So you have to write how you have to know how to summarize answers. How does the description of the book help us understand the difference between March's goal and the past? Writing about 30 to 40 words. The author is
first test this I don't have idea about how the questions are.
you didn't have ideas. I had no idea, didn't have. So two past words does not come side by side. So didn't is past, so have. I had no idea what the 81 was. The author uses yellow and pink to emphasize the age and rarity of the book in March's time. It creates a sense of nostalgia and contrast between the past and the highly digitized future, showing how physical books have become artifacts. We are talking about the world, we are talking about the book. Books. And we are written about March's world, school. This is okay, I give you one more because enjoying books instead of reading books and reading books. Yeah, then we have written about books and reading books. So you are written about computers and the comparison video. Comparison है the past and the present. And need to write paragraphs like on the second paragraphs. Okay, this is the first one. You know, you are learning, you have learned. I think you are getting good marks in school also, you are using. Are you using the keywords properly? Yeah, leaving out adventures of Toto.
I don't know why, but this paper was like a movie, but
Go please. Why don't you?
what's
You're not satisfied. They say I'm not frustrated. This is, oh, you were 1.5 out of 3. How does Toto come to grandfather's private zoo, writing about 40 to 50 words? He told me directly past the car and he was looking sad. You saw when I found Toto tied to a picture. Kiss me tight now. What a talks with Hannah. Tied to her. The mark was tied to a feeding trough. See, water trough, we are feeding foods to down. See, out of this, really important keyword. Was not happy. Unhappy. Unhappy what the meaning out of this. Felt pity. Why he felt pity? Because he looked at the monkey and the monkey looked out of this. Not happy, not very happy. With the place he was tied. And he was a grandfather, he in an animal lover, nature lover. That's the nothing. Later term. There's no one there, the office? No, I didn't ask her actually. Something. Something.
आवाज दे रहा हूँ आप सुनते भी नहीं हो
So it's a switch of it.
आपके मोबाइल में था नहीं मैं आवाज दे रहा हूँ बेटा रुक आप जाए
So here the points we have missed is grandfather loved animals. How do you go along to grandfather's private zoo? So you have to mention he loved animals. तो auto rickshaw कहाँ टाइप किया था? That is one point here missed. Fake pity. Why? Because he was out of group, sad and out of place. इसमें टाइप था. I got the monkey for 5 rupees. This is okay. When right in words. Okay. He added him to his collection of animals in his private zoo because he was an animal lover. These are the words. So many words. क्या है? Animals should be treated with love and respect. Comment on this statement with lesson. Huh?
especially against
So we are you comment on this statement. The animals should be treated with love and respect. Comment on this statement with reference to the lesson, the adventures of Toto as the background.
this will come as how we suppose
It's a reminder to the reader about the love and affection that animals feel from us. When things often believe that feeding and teaching a pet is the best way to discipline their future. However, animals are unique creatures to activate together. This is the right word. Each animal has its own distinct practices and its this simple right anything. Only आपको क्या करना है? इसके बीच में you can write here animals should be treated with love and respect. This you can write on your own. Extend नहीं होना चाहिए. Animals are kept or tigers are kept in zoo. They were used in circuses, which is anything like that.
but it refers to Toto. Toto को आपको last paragraph में this you can write on your own. Student, we should not be cared, we should be treated fairly, we should not kill. So be it. Grandmother had seen the Tama driver's red monkey kept tied on a feeding throw. He filled the monkey looked completely out of place and brought him for 5 rupees to add him in his private suit of birds and bees. This shows how much love he had for us. अब जो भी लिखोगे उसके साथ with reference to the chapter you have mentioned. Chapter में what shows that he was a and he was treated nicely. Or grandfather one, maybe it's a grandmother. In spite of Toto being so mischievous, how much grandfather loved him.
This the problem that it is probably completely different from the way that the is educated. Our agriculture if they go in they need freedom, but if the grandfather kind of tame was trying to tame him.
No, did not tame me. Kept it in this private suit where they were not, so both them जब age therapy he was, they were well taken off. Because the day he saw that Toto was disturbing the monkey, Nana, Nana to Nana. Disturbing the monkey, he did not keep Toto in the zoo because he knows that so he had so much of love for Christian and his parents. He never mistreated people. Or he never wanted to tame them. After tame करना था तो उनको मार के ये करके बात की वो ना he did not do that. He just released him. He loved animals and that's why he took Toto to Shanadpur because otherwise where did he go? He will disturb the household. Why he had to release him? He wanted to take him, but why he had to release him? Because he was taking a lot of trouble. He was messing up with age and they were not so rich that they can buy good properties and anything. You can write anything. Grandmothers, in spite of so much of history, how grandmother took care of Toto, used to boil water for his farm, and then once he was in the kettle, and then she saved him. अगर नहीं होता तो ये नहीं करते ना. So this way you can write anything on your own about animals, how they should be taken care of, how they should be not kept on zoo and all, and then जो भी आंसर आप लिखोगे उसमें based on the chapter you have to write relate your answer with the chapter with an instance from the chapter anything okay ये वो कितना नहीं है क्या
Not the right message.
ये तो आया है पुराना why who lost snake charmer balloons the colorful balloons when you go down these all he saw you did not mention all this that's why answer what I told you when you are writing points you have to write every first for the chapter also I said but you can say you have to mention everything Jojo the Russian women children taking bath class throw middle class throw everything you have to mention all the points. I fear what was distracting me. He was getting distracted by everything. No, ये point पे कौन सी है फिर distract करना ये point में reset करना बहुत सा. So ये point what was distracting you have to mention. Only nature cover is a very generic answer. You have to specify. Okay, so any word you are using, you have to mention why you are using. So when you said that grandfather brought Toto from Tonga driver was because he was tied with the feeding throw and looking out of place, looking sad in that state. That's why he felt pity and him. Okay, it's not to now.
Oh, so what is like the main problem in my writing?
Let's see what's your mention of it years. एक ही word को keyword को बार-बार मत. You have to just write all of it. Then you will see if you write all the keywords, then you will see that you are not exceeding word meaning. You can see such question paper. So that you can fill all the keywords and summarize. Otherwise, you are improving. See, you have started with 54 and a half. Now you have with 17. That shows improvement, na? So you want to study this or next class?
It's good.
So next class. You have any question?
Regarding
Any question, anything? Anything you can ask.
uh, there was a question from the Ishwaran storyteller. Our teacher had said this question can come in the exam. She said that give the story, the Ishwaran storyteller and story, and another ending. So if I told my teacher that like Mahendra finds out that Ishwaran is the ghost and
Ishwaran was mischief monger. He was a mischief monger. He was actually who posed as a host and tried to prove his story right, theory right about ghosts. Who said that?
on that. I said that when Mahendra gets up to examine, like investigate what actually was happening outside. So he goes and sees that there's woman holding a fetus in her hands. Then he runs back to the in this cottage where he was staying. So he runs to he runs to Ishwaran's room and says that sorry, he tries to wake him up, but there's no Ishwaran in the room or in the house anywhere. So when he goes once again outside, he says that he sees that Ishwaran is standing outside, and he says that Ishwaran says that he is the ghost and he is following he is following him uncomplainingly, not because he's fond of him, but because his job is to haunt him. So would that be
Job is to उसके पहले तक जो बोला सही है. Job is to haunt him because he was very happy with Ishwaran. Ishwaran was a very dedicated servant. He could say everything, loved him a lot. But you can say that he went out and he saw that Ishwaran standing there, and then he understood that because he was telling a ghost story, and Mahendra said that he did not believe in ghosts, to make his story look more natural, and because he was a good storyteller, more natural and more real, he posed as a ghost, as a proof that he is to show his to give a naturalistic ending to his story. Sound natural, look natural. Because he was an excellent storyteller, so he wanted to show, because Mahendra did not believe in what he said in ghosts, so he wanted to make Mahendra believe in ghost stories. That ghosts do exist. To prove his point. Because anything that you can justify, you will get marks. There is no single answer to any literature question. Anything that you can justify, and याद रखना कोई भी question you are writing, you have to take this test of the chapter. Without that, your question answer will not be complete. So anything else? So next class, what you have to do? I'll do this because I found this because the name was different. So no manner for it will do. I today we finished this. I did less because Anand also not there and the books. So next class, first thing is we write the key points of the chapter, part 1, and then we do no manner or foreign, and then we do a little bit of our. So the papers, all the papers, everything जो भी है अगर मैंने दिया है तो दे
We are ending our class today.
5 मिनट है और कुछ पूछना है
So whatever I taught you today, you got it?
Yes.
whenever you write it you are writing any question I told you in the book also today the boy the point out उसको दिन आपने क्या क्या कहते हैं और क्या क्या write all the words from the book don't miss a single
Subject is to